Good day. My name's Hess, and welcome to our continued classes on spiritual warfare. This one, if you'll note, you don't see any scriptures. There's a reason for that. I already went over a lot of scriptures on how this actually works to a degree. You need to go back, look at authority and things like that, and we're going to do a little brief encounter. This won't take very long, believe it or not. But let me give you a little insight. First of all, this lesson here is on how do demons and or spirits enter into us. Now, specifically, these are always evil. There's always an evil spirit. However, there is a good spirit. It's called the Holy Spirit. Now, we want that one, obviously. That's the Spirit of God Himself. Now, the way that one gets into you is really simple. Everybody should know this. Everybody should know what I'm doing right there. Okay? That's holy. I'm not doing a really good job there, but there we go. Holy. Now that one, good. That's the only one. Okay. Well, it's not the only one. There are other good spirits. Okay. And it says He will send spirits to assist us, but most of those are actually angels. But what we're primarily after here is evil. How do evil demons, well, all demons are evil, and or evil spirits enter into us? Well, that's actually fairly simple. We say, okay. How we do that is with everything we say or do. Okay, if we say bad things about people, well, we're inviting some form of gossip spirits into us. Okay, if we want to keep on going in that direction, we will eventually start encountering demons. Now, that's actually the authority level. That's how they get into us. Okay, we speak it into existence. Okay, for instance, if you keep gossiping, that's why gossip's such an evil thing according to the Bible. Okay, about a person, you're speaking things at them that's negative. Think anything negative is always evil. If you think along those lines, then you're going to start getting the idea how this works. And watch what happens in Joel 6. What happens, I believe it's in 6, is Michael and Satan are having a conversation. Actually, they're contending for the bones of Moses. Do you ever hear Michael address Satan in a derogatory, evil way? You don't. He just, in the end, turns the authority level over to the next higher level up. Well, there isn't any above him until we get to the Godhead. So, Yahshua will rebuke you. That's all he did. He just turned it over here. Take it to the higher court. I don't have anything to do with this. I did what I was told. Basically. Never said anything derogatory against him. Okay? Because he recognized Satan's original build, we'll call it, or design, where his original authority level was. So he didn't mess with him. He just turned it over to the next higher court. Okay, that's what we're supposed to do in those instances. We're not even supposed to be speaking evil about people. Okay? That's a bad spirit. Demons and spirits work the same way. If we start talking things at people, boom, boom, boom. Okay? We also accept them in by acts and things we do. Stuff we see. Okay? When you're watching TV and you start watching the stuff that you should not be watching, and you know it in your spirit, the Holy Spirit's trying to tell you something, and you're kind of ignoring it. You should go back and read Law versus Spirit, or watch Law versus Spirit. You'll start realizing what I'm talking about right there. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, go find my videos, Law versus Spirit. guardrails, and authority. They're all in the basic series. We're in the 200s with this. Now, I want to kind of explain to you how the secular world sees this. And it's rather fascinating. Okay? Did a bit of a study on this. Now, you're going to run into, I don't care where, psychiatrists. Okay? You can have Christian psychiatrists, you can have secular psychiatrists, you have all kinds of psychiatrists. They all basically say the wrong thing. And the first thing is, it has nothing to do with God, okay, which is outside your body. Okay? All the problem is inside your body. Okay? It's not outside your body. Okay? The answer's not outside, it's inside. Okay? We've already got a problem as soon as you see that. And what I'm getting at is this. It's the you inside of you. Well, if you're an alcoholic, let me explain this to you. Or if you're a drug user, or you're addicted to sex, or you're addicted to TV, or you're addicted to pornography, which is kind of a different thing, I can go on. Whatever your addiction is, here's your answer. However, psychiatry says it's inside of you. No matter what, one, it's always inside of you. They've got the wrong theology. Okay, there might be some Christian ones out there. I haven't run into them. And if you are, I apologize for lumping you in with it. I'm sorry. But from my point of view and what I've run across, it's always God versus the inside. Okay? Now, on the original AA system, before it was even really a drug rehab part with it, the first word in the prayer, the Serenity Prayer, is always God. Okay? Why? Because they knew way back when they started this program, a long time ago, back in the 60s if I remember right, you had to have God. You had to have God to heal you. It's about healing the heart. Okay? You can't heal yourself from the inside. Now, how do demons or spirits enter into us? We give them authority by what we say and do. Okay? Right? Determine this through scriptures. Now, how do they kind of work? Okay? How do we notice when it's manifesting and stuff? It's very interesting how this works. Okay? The reason I brought up psychiatry versus religion is there's a lot of people trying to control spirits and demons with drugs. That falls to this side. Okay? He's psychotic. He's antisocial. He has whatever it happens to be. I give you a whole long list. I deal with them all every day. Well, every day I'm at work. And here's how this works. And this is where I find it really fascinating. We'll get into spirits and demons here in a minute, but I just want you to get an idea how this works. Okay? It's really, really weird. But it's so simple. This is going to look more like an electrical thing because I took electrical engineering. So, but we're going to call that your brainwave pattern. I know it isn't what a brainwave pattern would look like. Okay, but we're going to use that, ups and downs. Okay? Now, this is an evil spirit, okay, of anger, we'll say. Now, his is the reverse. Okay? Fairly close. Doesn't really matter. Excuse me. What I'm getting at is, very simply, this is yours. You. This goes a spirit. Now, it absolutely does not match. Now, you've given it authority to do something, whatever it may be. We're going to just say anger. Let's go with rage, because it's a very fast-lived one. Most of the time. 99.9% of the time, that's a spirit. Rage is a spirit. What it does, because if you've ever noticed, most people, when they talk to somebody that they know after they've been enraged, the person's like, that wasn't you. It didn't even seem like you. That's because it really wasn't. It was a demon or spirit inside of your body that managed to do this. It managed to get you through some trigger to change your brainwave pattern just enough that it could match it close enough, it could overlap and take over. Okay, that's what it's trying to do. I'm not kidding you. If you go look, you can get online in a few places and do enough research, you're going to find that emotions change this. Okay? They change it all the time. And as we react, your brainwave changes. When you get enraged, guess what? It completely changes it to a different form. It doesn't matter what's trying to get in. Either one, they have to get close enough to match your brainwave pattern. Okay? They can't change, but you can. And we do that by every action or word we say. When we start getting that snarly look because we're mad, we're starting to allow anger, we're starting to match facial expressions. In other words, we're starting to match this. We get close enough, that spirit can jump onto that and start writing it now. Now watch this. It gets even more weird. Now, has anybody ever wondered... In fact, I want to remove this here because I don't want it to be God versus inside. There is no verses here. Okay? This is a simple statement that psychiatrists think that it's all inside your head, and I maintain it's all outside of your head because the Father is not inside your head when it comes to this thing. God the Father is not trying to get you to do something crazy and stupid. Alright? Now, and I've got several years of very close observation, shall we say, of criminal behavior, psychotic people. Highly psychotic people. Some of them have books written on them. Now, here, let's say this is one of the psychotic people. This is his particular brainwave pattern on a drug. Okay? And I'm not even going to say any of them because I might get in trouble for that. So, this is an antipsychotic drug. Some type. What happens is, that drug, the reason why it works is it fixes this brainwave pattern. You don't know how many of those people I've talked to that go around saying, well, I feel nothing, or I'm stuck in this particular state. What it does is as we get happy or sad or scared or whatever it is as we walk through the day, our brainwave pattern changes to match that. Theirs can't. All you people that are taking antipsychotics out there that complain a lot about this, you're stuck in a particular state, and you rotate through drugs to find a state that you can live with. In other words, an upbeat state. That's what's happening, is it's actually fixing your brainwave. Okay? Now, depression, which is a spirit, okay, it uses all kinds of things to get into you. That's one of the major ones, actually. Oh, it's just such a hard day. It's snowing, it's raining, it's sunny, it's whatever it is. And it just keeps on going. It's Satan's lie. You need to look up at Satan's lie. And it keeps right on going with you. And you take whatever type of over-the-counter, well, not over-the-counter, but prescription one. The ones I'm talking about are real hardcore ones. But they fix this in a position. The brainwave pattern won't change. That's why you all like, okay, there's my kids are doing this. You know, they shouldn't. I better take care of it. you don't get excited, you don't get happy, you don't get down. You're stuck at a level. Right there it is. That's why. And the reason why the spirit of depression or anger or whatever it may be can't get in there is because it can't change. It's fixed. You've locked it in place. Now that spirit can't enter. It's as simple as that. That's really how this all works together. After a while, you end up having to have a different type of drug because it manages to modify its pattern to match yours. So now I can start doing it again. Like, sometimes they never do. Okay? But in most cases that I've seen over the years, that after a while, they match. Somehow, some way, they manage to match up, start taking over again. And then you have the whole anger management issues and everything else that their problem is. Okay? They get in there and convince you certain things. Just remember that the Father is the only answer to this truly. Okay? To turn your life over at the cross to Him. He can fix all these problems for you. Okay? But you have to start there. And we're going to take care of that here real shortly, I hope. That'll be that'll be the long video you see from me, okay, on how we deal with these straight up. But for right now, we're going to keep slaying around on these little ones, and I hope this helps you out, okay, on how this works. They take your brain pattern, use some type of trigger, manage to get you to start modifying it. Boom. If you've ever watched any of the ghost shows, because you're interested in spirits exist, do the demons exist, and you start watching, there's certain ones I would not recommend, okay, but the analytical ones like Ghost Adventurers and Ghost Hunters, watch them because they don't have mediums too often on the one, and they're not along those lines. You got to remember, mediums, if you read the Bible, are inherently, they're automatically opening themselves up to evil spirits and demonic forces. Okay? So it's a given. They don't realize it. They think they're just talking to the spirit world. Okay? I've gone over how spirits know what they know. You need to look at that one, and it'll give you a greater understanding of what they're actually talking to. Okay? Because there is no spirit of somebody that was alive 200 years ago. To be absent from this body is to be present with the Lord. Okay? When the silver cord parts, it goes back. I can keep on going. There's several references in the Bible. When you die, you don't stay here. So those things that are out there masquerading as a spirit of your great-granddad isn't the spirit of your great-granddad. That thing was a spirit, evil type inside of him. Yep, it was there the whole time. It's seen everything he saw. So guess what? Why do you think it can't say it? I can't tell you what it saw. But we've moved so far away. Satan's lie, remember Satan's lie, is here's the Garden of Eden. He's got us way out here 6,000 years later where a lot of people don't even believe Satan. So that's where all these erroneous things are coming from. So just remember this. This is you. Spirit's trying to match that whatever way it can. Once it gets close enough, it starts entering into you. If you watch them ghost things, they're fine. Next thing you know, they're talking about how much anger issues they have, how mad they are. I just want to kill you. And it's his buddy standing right there. 5 minutes ago, he would have died for him. Something happened in that 5 minutes or 10 minutes. They don't realize what they're dealing with. They're trying to come up with a natural explanation for a spirit or a demon. Okay? The ones that are really, the really mean ones that really want to kill you is this one right here. Okay, these here are one-dimensional. Demons are not. They're multi-dimensional. In other words, this thing here has one thing it can do. Alright? It's one trick. In other words, mad. It can be mad, and that's it. Demons can be mad and also try to convince you to do something destructive to yourself. By the way, the first easiest way to tell if somebody's demonically possessed, cutting. Okay? Oh, I know. That's an internal psychotic thing. No. Every time Joshua encountered somebody in the Bible that was demon possessed, they were self-destructive by breaking chains and cutting themselves. Trust me, I've dealt with what we called, I hate to say it, let's just, retard strength. Okay? We use that in our daily lives where I work at. And here's why. You walk up to a guy that can bench press 300, say one of us can bench press 300 pounds. We've got this little scrawny guy that's 180 pounds or 150 pounds. Okay? For whatever reason, we got to put hands on him. And it turns out it takes 5 of us to deal with him. Okay? The 300-pound guy is struggling to hold on to him and control him. That's because he's not controlling him. He is attempting to control a supernatural creature called a demon. Okay, that has managed to get a hold inside of that other person. However he did it. We've already went into that, but that's what he's dealing with. That's why it's so dangerous and difficult. But the world doesn't realize that. Okay? We either call it retard strength or stupid strength. Okay? I know it's somewhat, but I don't have no better way to describe it. Demon strength? I mean, I want people to understand what is a common term versus it's really dealing with. You're dealing with a demon. That person's trying to cut himself or whatever, and we have to restrain him. Can't let him do that. And a person that I could pick up is like, I can't deal with him. I got to get help. Why? Because I'm dealing with a demon. Okay? Think about Samson and Delilah. Read some of the things Samson did. Okay? It's not a demon. That's not demonic and that's not an evil spirit. That's the Holy Spirit that was on him. But look what he could do with that. Now, these are a far cry from the true spirit. Very far, faint shadow. An evil, deceptive shadow at that. But you're starting to get the idea of what I'm talking about, I hope. Those things there can do or mimic the same thing. And I believe the power comes from the blood. Remember, there's one on blood. Well, guess what? People cutting themselves and bleeding. Okay? There you go. It gives that thing more power. Life's in the blood. You're giving it your life so it can have life. Once it's in you that far, that's what starts happening. Well, there you go. Now you start seeing some of the problems we're running into. And the secular world doesn't understand this. They're all about, it comes from inside. He's had traumatic childhood. Yeah, you might have had a traumatic, or she might, either one of you, might have had, or probably did have. Almost guaranteed that you did. I don't want to speak anything into your life particularly, but most people have. Because we forgot how the thing works. How blessings work, how the Father authority, it's the high priest in the house, is supposed to take that out of you, actually. Bless you, and just like Job in the Old Testament was blessing his family before they were wiped out, and they got wiped out. That's only because the hedge, you got to go through the hedge of protection. It explains the whole thing, how that happened. How Satan managed to get around that. And that was to be the greatest witness in the history of mankind. To you, to me. It taught so much. It's taught me great volumes on this subject. Anyway, I'm hoping this helps you. How do demons and or spirits enter into us? First of all, we give them the authority. Somehow we speak it, do it through actions or speaking it. Once we do, and they're inside of us, they still can't take over until they match our brainwave patterns. Somehow they do it. If it's a sexual thing, you're watching TV, she is so hot. Okay, and you keep watching, and it starts changing your brainwave pattern. It's amazing how that works. When it gets just right, that spirit can jump in and do whatever it wants to you until you start fighting against it. if you think this is happening to you, the very first thing I suggest for you to do is rebuke. Always rebuke, rebuke, rebuke. I don't care what it is. Okay? What happens, the worst thing that ever happened in the Bible, when an angel showed up that was sent by the Father, the guy basically rebuked him, and the angel just made him silent until his child was born. That's it. Okay? That's the worst thing that happened. If it's evil, it's trying to kill you. So always rebuke, rebuke, rebuke. Okay? Hopefully in this day and age, it would be a little bit different. For another thing, it's kind of odd that he was inside the temple when he didn't know what showed up. He knew what it was, and that's probably why he got himself in trouble. Zerubbabel, by the way. But anyway, back to here. Rebuke, rebuke, rebuke. If it's not of the Bible, and you're watching some evil thing on TV and you start feeling like it's drawing you, just rebuke it, turn it off, rebuke it, turn it off, rebuke it. Okay? When you get road rage going down the road, you're like, rebuke that spirit. It doesn't matter what that person did to you. It's what you're doing. Believe it or not, it is somewhat all about you. It's all about the Father and your relationship. The entire Bible is about your relationship with Him and His relationship with you. How He wants you to increase in love. And how we seem to want to rebel against that all the time. Anyway, I hope this has helped you on a little bit more on the mechanics of demons and spirits. Evil spirits. Okay? So, we will continue with our series, Spiritual Warfare. Shalom.